God says this message is for you, and you did not arrive here by accident. You paused for a reason, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. There is a moment in every life when everything quietly gathers into a single point, a single decision, a single direction, and this is one of those moments for you. Not loud, not obvious to everyone around you, but deeply real inside you. You have been standing between two paths for longer than you admit. One path is familiar, safe, and predictable. It asks nothing new from you. It keeps you where you are, thinking the same thoughts, living the same patterns, waiting for something outside you to change. The other path is quieter, almost uncomfortable to look at, because it asks something real from you. It asks for courage, for honesty, for movement. God says this choice will define you, not because it will instantly change everything, but because it will reveal who you truly are becoming. You keep looking for signs in the outside world, in people, in events, in dramatic signals, but the truth is simpler and closer. The sign is already within you. It is the feeling you keep ignoring. It is the quiet knowing that returns again and again, even when you try to distract yourself. There is a part of you that already knows what you should do. And there is another part of you that is afraid of what will happen if you actually do it. This is where your life begins to shape itself. God says you are not being judged for hesitation, but you are being invited into clarity. You have been given enough time to think, enough time to observe, enough time to understand. Now the question is no longer, what if? The question is, who will you choose to be? You have imagined different versions of your future. You have seen yourself succeeding, rising, creating something powerful, becoming someone people notice and respect. But there is something you must understand. Those futures are not given freely. They are built, slowly, through decisions that feel small in the moment but carry great weight over time. The choice in front of you is not about one event. It is about your direction. God says do not be distracted by noise. Do not be distracted by what others are doing, what others are saying, or what others expect from you. Your life is not meant to be an imitation. It is meant to be an expression. You keep thinking that something big will happen first, and then you will change. But the truth is the opposite. You change first, and then everything else begins to shift around you. This is why this moment matters. You are being asked to step forward, not perfectly, not fearlessly, but honestly. To stop pretending that you do not know what matters to you. To stop delaying the one action that keeps returning to your mind. God says your strength is not in waiting for certainty. Your strength is in moving even when certainty is incomplete. You have been given abilities, ideas, and desires for a reason. They are not random. They are not meaningless. They are directions. And when you ignore them for too long, you begin to feel restless, stuck, and disconnected. That feeling you sometimes carry, that quiet frustration, that is not punishment. It is guidance. It is telling you that you are capable of more than what you are currently allowing yourself to become. You do not need permission from the world. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need everyone to understand you. God says you only need to begin. There will always be reasons to wait. There will always be doubts. There will always be voices, inside and outside, that question your path. But those voices are not your destiny. They are just noise around your decision. You are not here to live cautiously forever. You are here to grow. And growth always asks for a choice. God says this is not about becoming someone else. This is about becoming more of who you already are, without fear controlling you. You have spent time imagining success as something distant, something almost magical. But success is built through ordinary days where you choose discipline over distraction, clarity over confusion, action over hesitation. The world does not change because of one dramatic moment. It changes because of consistent decisions. And right now, you are standing at the beginning of one of those decisions. God says do not underestimate this moment. You may feel like nothing is happening. You may feel like everything is still the same. But inside you, something is shifting. Something is asking you to stop repeating old patterns and to step into something new. This is not about perfection. This is about direction. Even a small step, taken honestly, is more powerful than a perfect plan that is never acted on. God says you are not alone in this, even when it feels like you are. Every person who has ever built something meaningful has stood where you are standing, uncertain, questioning, but aware that a decision must be made. They were not different from you. They simply chose to move. You have the same ability. Do not let fear disguise itself as logic. Do not let comfort disguise itself as safety. Sometimes what feels safe is actually what keeps you stuck. God says your future is not waiting somewhere far away. It is being created right now, through what you choose to do next. If you choose to delay, your life will reflect that delay. If you choose to act, even imperfectly, your life will begin to respond to that action. This is the truth you cannot escape. You are responsible for your direction. And that is not a burden. It is power. God says this choice will define you. Not because it determines your entire life in one moment, but because it sets the pattern you will follow again and again. Will you move when it matters, or will you wait until it is too late? Will you trust yourself, or will you keep searching for external confirmation? Will you build something, or will you continue imagining it? These are the real questions. You do not need to rush blindly. But you do need to stop avoiding. Take one step. Then another. Then another. That is how everything begins. God says you are capable of more than you have shown yourself so far. Not because of luck, not because of someone else, but because of what already exists within you. You have seen glimpses of it. Moments where you felt clear, focused, strong. Those moments were not accidents. They were glimpses of who you can become consistently, if you choose. Do not wait for another sign. This is your sign, not from the outside, but from within your own awareness. God says this message is for you because you are ready to hear it, even if part of you still resists it. The path will not always be easy. It will not always be clear. But it will be yours. And that is what matters. So stand still for a moment. Be honest with yourself. Look at the choice in front of you, not the imagined version, not the comfortable version, but the real one. Then decide. And once you decide, move. Because your life does not change when you think differently. It changes when you act differently. God says this is your moment. There is a quiet moment that comes before every turning point in life, a moment so subtle that many people pass through it without ever noticing, yet everything that follows is shaped by what happens inside that space. This is that moment for you. Not loud, not forced, not wrapped in fear or urgency, but steady, present, and real. You have been waiting for something to change outside of you, for a sign, for confirmation, for someone powerful or successful to point in your direction and say, yes, now is your time. But what if the real shift was never meant to come from outside at all? You are standing at a crossroads that does not look like a crossroads. There is no signboard, no dramatic announcement, no voice shaking the sky. Instead, there is a quiet choice forming inside you. A choice about who you will become when no one is watching. They represent what is possible when a person decides, deeply and without turning back, to take responsibility for their own path. This is where your attention must return, not to the noise, not to promises of instant transformation, but to the simple and difficult question, what kind of person are you choosing to become today? There is a version of you that seeks shortcuts, that hopes for sudden change without steady effort, that looks outward for validation before taking action. And there is another version of you, quieter but stronger, that understands that every meaningful shift is built through small, consistent decisions. That version does not wait for perfect conditions. That version does not need dramatic confirmation. It moves because it knows. You have already felt this difference inside yourself. There are moments when you feel restless, pulled towards something bigger, something more aligned with who you want to be. And there are moments when you fall back into hesitation, into doubt, into the comfort of postponing your own growth. Neither of these defines you fully. What defines you is which one you choose to follow, again and again. The idea that someone else, no matter how successful, no matter how influential, will come and decide your future is appealing because it removes responsibility. But your life does not work that way. No one else can choose for you. No one else can build your discipline, your focus, your resilience. Even the most powerful people in the world had to make the same kind of choices you are facing now, to act when it was difficult, to continue when it was uncertain, to believe in a path that had no guarantees. You are not being tested by some external force watching you from above. You are being shaped by your own decisions. Every time you choose distraction over focus, delay over action, doubt over effort, you reinforce a pattern. And every time you choose to begin, to continue, to improve even slightly, you reshape that pattern. There is no need for fear here. Fear tries to rush you, to make you feel that everything depends on one instant, one dramatic move. But real change is quieter. It builds. It grows. It strengthens over time. Think about what you have been avoiding. Not in a harsh way, not with judgment, but with clarity. There is something you know you could start or improve today. It may be small. It may not look impressive to anyone else. But it matters, because it is yours. You do not need permission to begin. You do not need a signal from a distant figure. You need willingness. You need consistency. You need the ability to stay with something even when it is not exciting, even when it does not immediately reward you. There is strength in that kind of patience. There is power in quiet persistence. The world often celebrates sudden success, but it is built on unseen effort, on days when nothing seems to change, on moments when continuing feels difficult but is done anyway. You have within you the same capacity for growth that you admire in others. It is not hidden. It is not locked away. It is simply waiting for you to engage with it honestly. You may feel that your situation is different, that your challenges are heavier, that your circumstances are limiting. And it is true that everyone's path is shaped by their environment. But within those boundaries, there is still room to move, to improve, to choose differently. Do not underestimate what small, consistent actions can do over time. They accumulate. They reshape your habits. They change how you see yourself. And that change in self-perception is where real transformation begins. When you start acting with intention, even in small ways, you begin to trust yourself more. You begin to see that you are capable of following through. That trust builds quietly, but it is powerful. It becomes the foundation for larger decisions, for bigger steps, for greater risks taken with awareness rather than impulse. There will be moments when you feel uncertain. That is natural. Growth always includes uncertainty. But uncertainty is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are moving beyond what is familiar. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to take the next step that makes sense. And then the next. And then the next. If you are waiting for a moment when everything feels perfectly aligned, that moment may never come. But if you begin where you are, with what you have, you create alignment through action. Your future is not decided in one dramatic instant. It is shaped over time by repeated choices. That may seem less exciting, but it is far more reliable. It puts the direction of your life in your hands. You can choose to continue as you have been, hoping for something external to change everything. Or you can begin to build something yourself, step by step, with patience and clarity. There is dignity in that process. There is strength in it. There is a quiet confidence that grows when you know you are not waiting anymore, that you are participating in your own progress. You are not behind. You are not late. You are at the point where you can decide to move differently. Take a moment to be honest with yourself. What is one thing you know you should begin or improve today? Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect, today. Start there. Keep it simple. Keep it consistent. Let your actions speak for your intention. Over time, those actions will shape your path more than any message, any symbol, any external figure ever could. And one day, when you look back, you will not see a single moment that defined everything. You will see a series of choices, made quietly, made steadily, that led you forward. This is one of those choices. Not dramatic, not forced, but real. What you do with it is what will define you.